I've been vegan for over 14 years now, so I think it's safe to say I've seen my fair share of people going plant-based and then quitting for a variety of reasons. So I want to go into some of the most common mistakes people make, some of which I have made myself, so you can avoid them. The first one is to eat enough calories. A lot of times when someone tries eating plant-based and then falls off rather quickly, they say they felt tired and didn't have enough energy while eating vegan. A lot of times it's because they simply weren't eating enough calories. Plant foods are nutrient dense, but they're also lower in calories than animal-based foods. So you have to take more bites of food to become full and fulfill your caloric needs. And that can take some getting used to and planning ahead when your whole life you've been used to eating a different way. It's also really helpful to learn which foods are more calorically dense and make sure you eat some of those foods incorporated into every meal. Foods like beans, grains, hummus, avocados, higher calorie fruits like bananas, root vegetables like sweet potatoes, potatoes and squash, nuts and seeds, tofu, etc. I have a friend that once impulsively felt like eating all plants for a few days. He reported back saying he was hungry all day. When I asked and pressed what he ate, he said he pretty much ate a salad for every meal. 3 salads a day is not going to work. Eating lots of fresh fruits and vegetables is wonderful because they're the most nutrient dense foods on the planet, but they're also the foods lowest in calories. So if you eat a salad for lunch, be sure to add avocado and potato fries on the side, or beans and a tahini dressing. Make sure to incorporate some hearty dishes throughout your day every single day, like creamy lentils, mac and cheese, lasagna, oatmeals, etc. There's lots of ways to eat vegan, and I personally enjoy drinking a green smoothie a lot of my days. And maybe that's not for you, and that's totally okay, but for me, because I am drinking a green smoothie a lot of my days for breakfast, I make sure to focus on higher calorie fruits like mango and banana to add to my smoothies, as well as adding some seeds to bulk up the calories, and because they're super nutrient dense, like hemp seeds or flax seeds. Another tip that'll be really helpful when you're learning to eat sufficient calories throughout your day is don't just take away certain foods from your plate, make sure to replace those foods with other foods. So if you're used to having meat at the table for your lunch or your dinner, don't just take out the meat and eat all the same other plant foods that were already at your table. Make sure to add something else to that plate as well, like tofu or beans, lentils. The choices are endless. There is so much variety that you can add to your dishes. Just make sure not to take away the cheese from your plate and not replace it with something that is similar in calories to your meal. So for example, if you're used to getting a sandwich on your way to go for work and it normally has cheese and turkey, lettuce, tomato in it, you can't just take out the cheese and turkey and expect to have a sandwich full of lettuce and tomato, right? You're gonna need to add something else to it. And you can't just add like grilled veggies to the sandwich. You're gonna need something more calorically dense, like hummus or some grilled tofu, something with high calories to the sandwich that can replace those items, so you're not significantly lowering your calories in your meal that you're used to. Number 2 is to have fun with it. Experiment and try new foods in the kitchen. Often when someone thinks of veganism, they think of carrot sticks and celery. They think they'll get bored in the kitchen, or they don't really branch out and try new foods. You can get creative in the kitchen and try new plant foods that you're not used to cooking with, and find inspiration from global cuisines around the world. Mexican food, Indian food, Thai food, all kinds of Asian foods are really easy to make vegan. You might not be used to trying new foods from different cuisines before you start eating plant-based, but you'll soon find that there are so many delicious recipes and meals that you can eat that are culturally inspired from across the world. Don't get in a rut of eating the same smoothie bowl and salad every single day. Yes, you will see me eating a lot of staple foods that I'm used to, that our family enjoys, and we found what's healthy for us and makes us feel our best and is delicious to us, but we also make sure to incorporate fun new foods most days, but definitely every single week. We're trying new recipes, we're making new hearty dishes that we don't normally make, and it's really fun to just get creative in the kitchen. Also, it's really good for your microbiome. It's super helpful and important to eat a wide variety of plant foods in your diet and not to just stick to a few of the same vegetables that you're used to. Hot for Food has a great recipe blog, and also if you're looking for more whole foods focused recipes, Forks Over Knives is always a sure win in our family. And of course, you can always get my ebooks, Epic Vegan Food or Epic Plant Powered Kid Food, which even the kid food though, I get so many messages from people who are not kids and they say they love the recipes, and it also has a lot of recipes that are focused for the whole family to enjoy. They're just kid approved recipes. So definitely check that out, link below, if you're interested in getting my ebooks. Number 3 is to focus on whole plant foods. Eat a balanced diet. Let me be clear, I enjoy and encourage to not be strictly perfect. But the reality is, if you want to feel your best long term, eating a predominantly whole foods diet and avoiding processed foods as a center part of your diet is going to be really helpful with that. The reality is there are hundreds of ways to eat a vegan diet and most of them aren't healthy, just like there's 100 ways to eat animal foods and most of those aren't healthy either. A lot of people forget that so many people feel unwell on all different kinds of diets, and I really value feeling my best because you can only live your best life as good as you feel. It's really hard to be your kindest, most respectful, loving self when you don't feel good inside. And that's just something I really value and really recommend caring about when going plant-based. The next one is to continually learn and take in information from qualified experts. All too often people jump on the bandwagon of veganism and learn little to nothing and don't keep up with the latest research or information to keep them inspired. And then consequently become discouraged when friends or family around them aren't supportive and they don't really know how to respond to them. It's really helpful to have information at hand so that when friends or family have questions or concerns for you, you have responses that you can reply confidently. It's hard to stand out in the crowd sometimes, and when everyone else around you isn't doing what you're really excited to do, it's helpful to have the why behind what you're doing so that you can respond politely and respectfully to them about those reasons. Some Instagram pages I like to follow is Plant Proof, The Gut Health MD, Plant-Based Pediatrician, Forks Over Knives, and nutritionfacts.org. The Ritual podcast interviews experts on all different topics within vegan nutrition as well as other topics which are super awesome as well. And I love books by plant-based doctors who have been doing this for decades. Colin Campbell, Dr. Neal Barnard, Dr. Michael Clapper, Dr. Michael Greger, to name a few. Dr. Neal Barnard recently came out with a book on hormone balance that I'm really excited to read called Your Body in Balance. And I also am loving the book Fiber Fueled by Bulsiewicz. And of course, one of my favorite all-time books on vegan nutrition is Whole: Rethinking the Science of Nutrition by nutritional biochemist Colin Campbell. Follow evidence-based research which shows the longest living civilizations on the planet ate the least amount of animal foods, predominantly plant-based diets. Check out Blue Zones on Instagram for more info that's easy to access. Number 5 is to eat more greens and locally grown or farmers market produce. If you don't have access to farmers markets, try your best to purchase organic as much as possible. And try growing some greens. Even if you live in a climate that's not as optimal to growing greens a lot of times of the year, a lot of people can still grow sprouts through their window or greens in a little plant on their deck. This also goes for people who don't have very much space to grow food. When Andrew and I first started growing our own food, we started with a little plot of land on the side of our house, and as we were able to over the years get more space and more land to grow more food. Start small, anywhere helps. The more locally grown, organic, and homegrown produce you can get, the better. These foods are more nutrient dense and healthy for you as opposed to their counterparts of non-organic. Greens are one of the best foods that you can eat for your health. They are so nutrient dense and mineral dense, which are good for a variety of wonderful reasons for your health. And I think a lot of times this gets missed when helping people go plant-based. This goes from lettuce in your salads to kale and spinach, arugula, all different kinds of dark leafy greens, you name it. Number 6 is to keep yourself continually inspired. This is similar to the one about educating yourself and keeping up-to-date information, but it's a little different, so I wanted to make it its own point. Find your reasons for going plant-based or vegan and keep that up so that you stay inspired by that. A lot of times people will start out eating plant-based for their health, and over time when they learn all the other wonderful reasons to eating plant-based, they become vegan and start to live a vegan lifestyle. Eating plant-based is kinder to the animals and to the environment. It has a lighter footprint on the planet, and these are wonderful reasons to eat plant-based and become vegan. So watch some documentaries and get inspired. But I also want to make the point that it can be easy to watch a documentary about the animals and be inspired for a while, but living in a world that is non-vegan and has lots of societal pressures to not stay vegan, it can be really helpful to keep yourself inspired and re-watch some of those videos. Let that type of information come your way on a semi-regular basis. So for instance, if you watch a documentary like Dominion at dominionmovement.com or some other form of slaughterhouse footage, you can be really impacted by that at first, and over the months and years you can say, I don't need to watch that, it's really hard to watch, I already know why I'm vegan, I know I'm doing it for the animals. But it's easy to feel less passionate about the animals over time if you don't remind yourselves of it, because our world is set up in such a way where it is completely disguised how animal foods become animal foods. They're pre-packaged at the supermarket, and it's very easy to forget what the animals go through to end up on someone's plate. So remind yourself, because it can be easy to forget what animals go through on factory farms and at the slaughterhouses every single day. I like to follow animal activist pages on Instagram to be reminded every once in a while and to see the factory farms and the slaughterhouses that they visit, or also the debates that they're having. It's very inspiring, it's very motivating, and it definitely reminds me. Check out Earthling Ed's YouTube channel channel. It's absolutely amazing, and also Joey Carbstrong on Instagram. He's great too. And if you haven't seen any ethical vegan documentaries, I highly recommend Dominion at dominionmovement.com, and also Earthling Ed Speech, which I will link below for you. Cowspiracy is a wonderful one about the impacts of animal agriculture on our environment, which I highly recommend as well. Whatever your reasons for going plant-based, keep reminding yourselves of those reasons, stay inspired, stay educated, and that will help a ton on your plant-based journey. Number 7 is to figure out whether going vegan all at once or a slow transition is right for you. I actually went vegan all at once. I'm just that type of person. I'm an all or nothing person. I go all in when I find out something I'm inspired by, whereas my husband started eating 1 vegan meal a day and slowly added more vegan meals over time. You really gotta figure out and gauge what your personality is and what's gonna work best for you, because some people try going vegan or eating plant-based all at once, and then when they stumble, become unmotivated and don't want to keep going. If that's the way that you happen to deal with things and go through life, then definitely try a slower transition. Be gentle on yourselves anyways. You should be gentle on yourselves whether you're new to vegan or not, because there is no perfect vegan, and we should have compassion not only for the animals but also ourselves. Number 8 is to seek support from your family and friends. Any big lifestyle change is always going to be easier with support from your family or friends. When you become vegan, tell your family or friends and tell them why you're doing it. Ask for their support. You can look up vegan groups online, and often they will have vegan chapters within your area so you can connect with people near you, which is super awesome. That's totally something that I used and engaged with as well. When we first moved to Hawaii, we didn't have very many friends, and I found it really helpful to connect with other like-minded people. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be like-minded in every area of your life. As you'll know, you'll have a lot of friends who you might really flow with in a certain area, and in other areas you disagree on different things, and that is all good. But it's really nice to find people that really enjoy and are inspired and passionate about eating plant-based, so that you can feel easily encouraged to do it as well. Number 9 is, in the beginning, when you're learning your path, plan ahead. When you're just learning how to figure out how to eat plant-based sustainably and make it something you can do long-term and feel really good at, it's really helpful to plan your meals ahead so that you don't get in a rut, and also so that you don't get into like one of those positions where you forget to plan your meal and you're getting hungry and last minute you have nothing in the fridge that's available to you or going to be able to make a wholesome, delicious meal for you. So it's helpful to plan ahead, write out your plans for the week, go grocery shopping in that way so that you make sure you buy enough food for each of the meals that you're going to need throughout the day. And lastly, this is a really important one. Don't get discouraged when someone you know or someone you follow online stops being vegan. This is just the reality, but most people don't stay vegan. Just like most people don't stay on any other diet either. And I know you're gonna say, wait a second, being vegan is not just a diet, it's a lifestyle, which is true. But we live in a world that does not encourage eating vegan, and there's a lot of stigmas and double standards within that frame. Everyone is just doing their best with the information that they have at hand. But you don't need to be discouraged or easily enticed to do and follow whatever someone else online is doing. And when I say that everybody is just doing their best, I mean this to love everybody no matter what they are choosing to eat, because I really do believe that mass majority of people are just doing their best with the information that they have at hand and what makes the most sense to them. But for me, I'm not easily discouraged by people stopping being vegan. And something else which I recently talked about on my Instagram stories is that you will see people make videos saying why I'm no longer vegan and make statements about why they're not vegan. And so it can be easy to think that people quit veganism, but then they don't quit any other kind of diet, which is simply just 100% not true. People are quitting all kinds of diets all the time. But the difference is that people don't really feel a need to make a statement about why they're quitting any other kind of diet for a very specific reason. You're not going to see someone make a statement or make a video called why I quit the paleo diet or why I had to quit the nourishing traditions diet. This is because veganism is the only diet in which pretty much everybody knows it's kinder to the animals and a lighter footprint on the planet to eat that way. There's a certain level of conviction that people have when they stop eating plant-based as opposed to any other diet. So they want to explain a reason for why they feel they can't eat that way anymore. No other diet is like that. Don't be discouraged. There's a really big reason why people feel a need to make a statement like this, and it's easy to hear, oh, this person had this, this, and this while they were vegan and they can no longer be vegan because of that, but not realize that the same thing happens on any other kind of diet. You're just not seeing videos about it because people don't feel convicted. The thing is, no one feels 100% good 100% of the time for their whole life. That's just not reality. Health issues are going to come up no matter what diet you eat. That's because health is so much more than food. Relationships, sunshine, exercise, sleep, stress levels, the power of your mind all play a huge role in your health. We live in an imperfect world with massive toxic upload in our environment and things that are out of our control. Sometimes tweaking your diet can be massively helpful, but I think it's really good to realize that people quitting the vegan diet isn't somehow different or happens more than any other diet out there. You can be healthy whether you're vegan or not. It really depends on so many factors, like I said, because health is so much more than food. But I also care about the animals and my personal choice to lighten my footprint on the planet, so eating vegan is a no-brainer for me. And because I love vegan food and I am so thankful for the massive health benefits I've received. Something to think about is that when somebody quits the vegan diet and says they feel better now, remember they also said the same thing when they first went vegan too. In a few years, when another health issue comes up while eating animal products, it's unlikely you'll hear about it. Almost everyone I know who stopped being vegan reported back within a few years that, yeah, it's really not that different. Sometimes things come up. Let me be clear, I have a lot of friends who once ate plant-based and no longer eat that way. I love them all. I love my friends no matter whether they are vegan or not. People are doing their best based on the information they have at hand and doing what feels right to them. I say all this because over the 14 years that I've been vegan, this is one thing that I kind of wish I was told at the very beginning that might be really helpful for you. People in your life will stop being vegan. It's okay. Keep doing you. Keep shining bright, and if you're vegan, reminding yourselves the reason you're vegan in a non-vegan world. Alright, I hope you found this helpful. I wish this video was out when I first went vegan, and I hope you have a great day.